the committee is made up of a very substantial group. We have 17 different members that attend these meetings, representing the cities of Iron Mountain and Kingsford and Norway. Also, Breding Township is represented, memberships of the county. We've got regular reports on the airport. Michigan Department of Transportation is involved with their reports. Wisconsin Electric is involved. And then we've had representatives of the DTE Energy, along with realtors from the area and developers and representatives of our local banks. So we have a very extensive group that meets regularly, talking about a lot of different things in collaboration regarding infrastructure. The two main topics that we continued to move forward with at this point is our geographic information system, primarily for parcel mapping. And this started off with the SAW grants that were completed by the City of Kingsford, City of Norway, and the City of Iron Mountain. Getting all of our information for our sanitary sewer systems on those, but parcel mapping was a byproduct of that. And with that, we found out that we were able to provide a lot of good information for our community parcels with that. And what we wanted to do is move this forward to a seamless map for the entire county. And what we found over this time is that we have all of the information available for all the townships throughout the county. Now we just need to coordinate that into one location. Dickinson County did budget for this coming year funding so that this can be accomplished, and we are going to be meeting here shortly to discuss all of the different options that are available to us to put together this system. And we're hoping to have this up and running sometime within the next couple of months. The next major issue that we've had in this is because of the strong industrial growth and commercial growth that we've had in our area as of recent with some of our major businesses, is that the housing need. And we completed a housing study a year ago, and that is, we're continuing to review that with all of our private sector people. But the studies did show that we are in need of single family residential, two family residential, and multifamily residential, both for ownership and for rentals. And we've got some developers, we do have some developers that are continuing to move forward with some of these projects, but we are still in need of many more. And we're finding out that rentals is a high need, primarily for the younger generation is coming in that are not quite ready to purchase a new home. But some of the projects that are going on in our area, Eden's Properties is developing 7 units downtown Iron Mountain. These are going to be higher end properties, and they're doing the Sandstone Studios in the former City of Iron Mountain City Hall and Fire Hall. Those properties are going to be 580 square feet to 745 square feet, and sharing a common area rooftop. The MRI Properties is revitalizing 2,900 square feet of the historic downtown area, and they're continuing with those projects and renovating some projects, some of these properties that have not been utilized for quite some time. Evergreen Heights Apartments, incorporated in Kingsford, is continuing with adding duplexes and fourplexes on the property on Westwood Avenue. RZ Real Estate completed 5 duplexes on Pile Drive near the Woodland Elementary School, and is working on a project with the City of Kingsford for purchasing additional 10 lots for 10 more duplexes on Evergreen Court. City of Kingsford has also recently developed 7 lots on North Pile Drive, making those available for single family residential. At this time, the City of Kingsford has 17 single family residential lots available. In addition, they have 12 two-family residential lots available for with street access and public utilities. The city of Norway, as far as residential properties, they have 7 single-family residential lots and 9 two-family residential lots available in various locations throughout the city. They have 8 two-family residential lots in their Norway Springs subdivision, and in their Old Crest subdivision, they have 3 2.5-acre parcels. The city of Norway specifically set up a designated zoning for these lots, giving them some flexibility on how those are developed. Some of the other things that our committee is discussing is development incentives, and we're trying to work with local developers and other developers to come into the area. But financial incentives, tax incentives, state and local government assistance of any kind that can be brought up. We're working with Brownfield Authority that was reorganized recently by the county, and also the land bank of delinquent properties. We're also working on a complete inventory of commercial, industrial, and residential properties throughout the entire area, so that we have good information for people that are interested in coming in and doing some further development. Lastly, the other issue that our committee talks about on a regular basis are infrastructure upgrades, and this is water, sanitary sewer, storm sewer, and streets, and other infrastructure that benefits everyone in the community and the area. The communities are working on asset management plans for their water systems. They're also planning on the lead service upgrades that has been mandated by the state of Michigan for the next many years. Sanitary sewer systems, the 3 cities have completed their SAW grant analysis of those, and that is another asset management tool that they can use for upgrading. Many of these systems are 100 years old or right at 100 years old and needing some major renovations. Storm sewer systems, as far as adding systems and separation of systems that were combined when they were originally constructed. Also, the infrastructure as far as streets and the funding for streets replacements. We do work with the state of Michigan on a number of different grants that are available for small urban, which is a rural group that we work with the county and the 3 cities. And also there's category A funding for new developments, and there's category F funding for commercial and industrial developments. So again, we share all this information on a regular basis so that everybody's on the same page and knowing what we're doing, instead of each individual community not having specific that information, what others are doing. So that's all that I have at this time. We're hoping to continue with the growth of our area and get through this pandemic. Good day.
As chairperson of the Small Business Retention and Growth Task Force, I'd like to report on what we've been doing over this last year. Our main focus has been, with the pandemic and everything that's going on, is our Loyal to Local program. Our Loyal to Local program has taken off greatly. It's awesome to see all the businesses that are supporting it. We are currently at 126 businesses, which is our largest amount that we've had, and we're into our year number 3. So a lot of things that are going on with Loyal to Local, everything steering towards the idea of pushing as much business we can to the small business that's in our community and helping them thrive and survive. So our social media, we're up to over 2,200 Facebook followers. We've got the Instagram followers. We do monthly contests to drive people to our website. And again, that website is all geared towards helping our local business survive and be super strong, especially not only during the pandemic years, but at all times. So the monthly contests have been working really well. We run 560 ads on the radio across 4 stations locally, which has done very, very well. We've been hearing a lot of comments just in these last few months on how appreciative these business owners are. So the business owners are coming to us, telling us how much they appreciate these radio ads. One of the big things that we introduced a little over a year ago was a gift card program. And that was where our local participating businesses could offer gift cards online. So we took it one step further. This past Christmas season, we did what we call the holiday gift card program, trying to get the large businesses in our community to purchase their employee gifts at Christmas time, at Thanksgiving time, through the use of gift cards from our local small business. So we had 27 local businesses that agreed to do this. We put them on a full sheet. Some of them offered discounts, some of them did not. But the amazing thing that happened is we sold a little over $40,000 worth of gift cards to local large businesses that use them for their employee gifts. But that was $40,000 that stayed into our community with the small business. So it was a great thing that we did. The businesses, when we went to go pick up those gift certificates, were extremely appreciative. So hats off to the committee and all the work that we did to take and get that rolling. Being the Small Business Development and Retention Task Force, we also are doing more than just the Loyal to Local. So we have coordinated webinars with the SBDC. We do bi-monthly webinars with them. And this is something that's at no cost to us. But what it is it's webinars that are out there from the SBDC. It's a government funded program, and it's to help small business with various topics. We've had everything from this last week of just a webinar on all of the free services that they have. And over 20 businesses went online to watch that. A lot of questions were asked, but we've had topics of helping with financing during the pandemic, how to create online stores, how to use Facebook for your business. And a very nice thing that's happened this last year is we have joined forces with the Chamber of Commerce. So they too are helping promote this program. It's all working together to simply get small business to survive and thrive, especially during these pandemic years. The final thing that we've been really working on through this task force, and it just came to be starting again, is the B2B. So business to business purchasing. We have traction with our customer base and the consumers going to the small business. Now one of our next goals is to try and get the local businesses to use other local businesses for their purchases. For example, buying paper, cleaning supplies, anything of that nature, just simply trying to get the local businesses to not only help promote our Loyal to Local program, but now for the businesses themselves to take and use the other local businesses in our community for their supplies and their purchases. Other than that, I feel that we're moving along really strong. Everything's going along really well. And we appreciate all the support that we've gotten from our community and our business partners. Thank you.
2020, of course, is done. Thank goodness. You can throw it in the wastebasket and not think much about it. But as far as the Alliance goes and the task force here, we actually, I think we did pretty good getting through the year. I'm happy that we've made progress, and then we're looking for 2021 and beyond to even do better. So let's go through a few things that we want to look at. The first one I think is we want to continue with the local tours with the local officials. I think the couple that we did were well received, and I think that's one of our priorities is to continue with that. And looking forward to doing that as soon as we can get back together. I think another item we talked about is common concerns we have in Wisconsin and Michigan, so we can collaborate with our neighbors. We all have the same problems, the same concerns, and we really should reach out to the other counties around us to find that common goal. And then, of course, we should also talk about reach out to Wisconsin officials. That would basically say go into the last one we just talked about is just being more neighborly and working together. And I think we need to define 3 top priorities for the next year, 21, for We got a couple of them here. Define the 3 priorities, host opportunities to share our message with other communities. Provide semi-annual updates to elected officials. I think that's something we've already been doing. And explore the creation of a PAC. I think that's something that we can work on for the next few years. Also meet with lobbyists. I think it's important that we work with lobbyists that affect us, that can work with us, that can bring a message not only to Lansing but to Washington. So lobbyists, I think, is as much as we hear about them here and there, it's part of the system. We need to work with them a little bit more. And we need to share our message with a wider audience. We know what we're all about. The UP pretty much knows what we're all about, but does the Midwest and also the whole United States? Because I think we need to reach out, and especially for unemployment, our businesses that need to fill jobs, we have to reach out along with Michigan Works to hopefully to bring in more people to fill our jobs. So I think that's extremely important. But I think one of the biggest concerns we have, and I think it's got to be more than 21 and even farther beyond, would be combining services. This is something we've touched on a little bit. I know it's something that's been bandied about and talked about now for off and on for years, but I personally think, and I think the Alliance might agree with this, is that we need to really work hard, not only in 21, but 22, 23, 24, or forever, really, combining services. You know, the schools have already approached that and have done quite well. But I think it's something that economics is going to force us to do it with the cities and townships and the county and the fire and police. But I think this is one of those things that I think it's got to be a priority for whatever board to work on this, because to me, it's just common sense that it's something we have to work on. And also that we need some new members on this task force. So if anybody is interested in getting on board, we have a really, really, really good board. We got Lois, who I consider she's the queen bee. You know, she's up in her hive and get all these bee workers buzzing around, and she takes care of all of us. And on our board, we've got Dave Bryson, you know, so if her little hive gets dirty, he can go in there and take away her garbage. And we've got Dave Cashin. So if the queen bee wants to go out on a weekend because all the little worker bees are bugging the heck out of her, he can slip her a few dollars. And then if she comes back the next day and says, I had too many shots of honey, Jim Rice can tell her where to go for some medical help. So we got Dave Bryson, Dave Cashin, Jim Rice, myself. So I think we've got 4 very good, smart people and a politician. So what really could go wrong on all that? So other than that, I don't have a whole lot to say, except I'm looking forward to 21. I'm looking forward to continuing the county's partnership with the Alliance. And also I think the Alliance from the last couple of years is a fantastic organization, and I think it's got a lot of really great future ahead of it for all the right reasons. It's for what we're doing for what's best for our community and our county. So with that, Happy New Year.
The Talent and Education Task Force's fundamental basic role is to develop the talent pipeline in Dickinson County. You know, early on when we formed the DEA, going into identifying what problems we were facing in our community, we identified one problem as insufficient workforce. So we recognize that there's a brain drain in our community where kids graduate from high school, leave, and don't return. We identified that a lot of our workforce has been leaving to find better, or what they think are better opportunities. We saw a lack of skill sets within our community. And one of the big ones is a lack of understanding of what we have in this community as far as manufacturing, workforce, work opportunities, and ways to have a viable career right here in Dickinson County. So to address these, the Dickinson Area Economic Development Alliance developed a task force, which has really ended up being a diverse group. And we have the private sector and the education sector in the same room, co-creating solutions to these problems. And we haven't done that much in the past, and this organization has really brought this conversation together, which is important. We have K-12 education, we have voc ed, community ed, adult education, local businesses, and various other stakeholders in the same room talking about the same problems. And what we found was it was a real big task. There was a lot of different avenues, a lot of different issues that really didn't pertain to all the stakeholders. So we developed 3 subgroups in this. We had a large group, and we had our monthly meetings. We needed to break that down. So we developed the 3 subgroups. One was building the talent pipeline, and that's led by Gina Wallner. The next was the talent attraction group, led by Steve Farah, and then the talent retention group. And this is led by Therese Kaler and Nikki Bowers. And we, once we started that and identified purpose, and we're able to hone in more in smaller groups and attack these problems and attack the issues that we identified as pertinent to growing our economy. We accomplished quite a few things in 2020, and it really, as you all know, wasn't the same as the years prior. A lot more challenges with COVID-19 issues, and most of our activities involve groups and gatherings and just lining people up and connecting people. And that took a toll. We had to identify what we could do in the virtual world. So we did a lot of Zooms. We did a lot of just virtual and more technology-driven types of tasks and initiatives. I just want to talk about a few of them that were done, most in a virtual way, and we moved along relatively seamlessly. We focused on the social media marketing campaign. And in this, we did the Keep UP Working initiative, and that highlights growing employers and just some of the successes that are going on in the community. We featured area employers periodically, and we did this Work Where You Hunt campaign because we realized that a lot of people come up over the Mackinac Bridge and in through Wisconsin to get to the UP in Dickinson County for the deer hunting season. We continued with the hometown news communication, and Lois really was instrumental in keeping this running, where we reach out to local and graduates from basically all over the country to identify what is going on well in Dickinson County, what the opportunities are, what the housing market looks like, and just a lot of information to try to attract people back to the community, but as importantly, to keep people up to date with the opportunities for workforce enhancement. We did the heavy metal tour again this year, and this was done virtually, different than in the past where we brought students, 9th graders, to various manufacturers. We did this in districts in a virtual capacity, but we grew it. We had Bay College, we had the ISD, Michigan Works, and 5 companies involved with this process this year, and this was the biggest one that we had. And then we just interacted with six schools, about 250 freshmen this past year, or this year, were educated in manufacturing, but more importantly, in what manufacturing looks like in Dickinson County. One initiative we did do in person was the Kingsford Robotics Competition. That was an in-person event last spring. And that's a great opportunity to get our folks in collaborating with local companies, local sponsors, and just being around that environment, that high-tech environment, and talking with kids that are into that high-tech environment and really are passionate about robotics and technology and so forth, and hopefully future employees of this of Dickinson County. That's one of the goals we do have. We did some networking with state and federal legislators. As you well know, that's a really important piece of what we do to help move not only manufacturing and industry in our county, but overall across the UP to bring, I guess, bring more action, more political action, identifying what we can do even better. And that's, and we just finished our A3 planning for this upcoming year, and just identifying pretty much the same goals that we have. We didn't accomplish everything, obviously, in our initiatives, but we want to continue with in the path that we are going right now. We all feel it's very worthy. We're seeing some good results, and more importantly, we're just seeing that communication and those conversations going around employment, around workforce, and brainstorming various ways to build that up in Dickinson County. I appreciate all the efforts of all the committees and basically the Dickinson Area Economic Development Alliance as a whole, because it's really, I think, making a big difference in our community.
Today, I am going to give you an overview of the marketing initiatives that we worked on in the past year. We've made the best of 2020 and we're able to execute on 3 educational campaigns, create a featured employee series, and place articles in national and regional publications. We also increased our social audience and the number of website visits just through consistent posting on both the website and on social media. The 3 campaigns that we worked on in 2020 were the Keep Up Working campaign, which launched in May of 2020. This was in partnership with the Lake Superior Community Partnership and Michigan Works. It was an integrated social media and media campaign highlighting the key benefits of maintaining employment or finding new employment during the pandemic months when unemployment checks were often higher than a regular salary. The results of this campaign were really great. We had nearly 300 website visits in May and June alone, and nearly 1,000 organic social media impressions. We also saw coverage on the TV6 News. We were able to repurpose the messaging from the Keep Up Working campaign and create a featured employee series using the same messaging. The second campaign we worked on was the Heavy Metal Tours. This year, as you may know, Heavy Metal Tours went virtual in October. This was in partnership with Bay College West, the ISD Tech Center, area schools, and area manufacturers. We were able to deploy a social campaign that highlighted the many educational opportunities for students, as well as job opportunities with area manufacturers. This campaign resulted in 267 website visits in October and more than 4,000 organic social media impressions in October. We also used the success from this event in a Rural Insights article in November. The third campaign was the Work Where You Hunt campaign. This was launched in November with the goal of targeting hunters that were coming to the Dickinson area during hunting season. We did a targeted campaign on Facebook to reach those from outside of the area to find employment within the Dickinson area. We also placed physical posters at hotels, bars, restaurants, outdoor stores, gas stations. This coincided with the shutdown that began on November 18th. So we didn't have the impact that we had expected, but we did lay the groundwork for future years. We saw 118 website visits, 706 paid social media impressions, and 227 organic social media impressions. This is a campaign that we look forward to repeating in the future. The Featured Employer series began in August, highlighting systems control. We repurposed the talking points from Keep Up Working campaign to highlight the job openings in area businesses. In 2020, we featured systems control and the Oscar G. Johnson VA Medical Center. We're continuing this campaign into 2021 with the Dickinson County Healthcare System currently being featured in February. We had some really great media coverage. Business in Focus published an article in July highlighting our business community and our approach to economic development. We also have an agreement with Rural Insights that began in August for bi-monthly articles. So far, the topics covered have included the economic growth the Dickinson area has seen in multiple sectors, celebrating Manufacturing Day, and the new Oscar G. Johnson VA Medical Center Community Living Center Edition. We also had local coverage throughout the year on the Daily News and TV6. As I mentioned at the beginning, an increase in consistent posting on social media and on the website has increased our reach. We look forward to continuing with the consistency as we roll out additional campaigns